I put my foot down when Abe told me that the star was taking them into Judea and our own government was issuing travel warnings.
My name's Professor Abraham Collins, and when we were released, we went one more day's journey, as much as anything to get away from the king. And then the next night, finally, the star stopped.
I guess I should have been happy. It was a big clue we were reaching the end of the trail. But this whole thing was really freaking me out. How can a star be stationary in the sky in the first place and then slowly begin to travel night after night across the sky and then suddenly stop moving again? It's impossible.
And the following night, we all saw this beam of light come straight down to the earth from the star.
Maybe the starlight was illuminating some particles in the atmosphere, or it was just some sort of localized ionic haze. I don't know.
I'd given up trying to understand it scientifically by that stage. But this narrow beam of light was focusing on buildings at the edge of the next village.
This was surely the end of the trail. But what were we going to find? Who were we going to find? Everything so far had been leading up to this very point.
There seemed to be this mechanic's garage or something at the edge of the town where the beam was focused.
Oh, well, I'm Martin Thompson. My wife and I, well, we met when she was studying in London. There wasn't much work for me back home, so we moved here to be more near her folks. I was just about to look up, and this camper van pulled up. Yeah? Young couple. The woman, she was heavily pregnant. They'd just arrived in town and needed some work done. So I said you could pull her up into the shed and stay there the night. I'll fix her in the morning. So I was rather shocked when I woke up the next day to discover that that woman, she had her baby right over there in my shed.
Well, you can't bring up a little one in a camper van. Not in the middle of our garage, anyway. No, I said to Martin, you bring them over here, they can stay with us for a while. Which they did. Stayed nearly a month in the end, and some very strange visitors we got during that time too.
Here he was, a child born, just as the manuscripts had foretold. I could hardly believe that this had come to pass in my own lifetime, that I could be a witness to these actual events. A boy born to change the world.
It just seemed to confirm that we'd been deliberately led here to this particular spot, this particular child. And I felt that, well, we should pay homage to that in some way. And we all decided that we would give a present as a mark of respect.
It was a great relief for me to get to the end of the trail, to find whatever it was that we found. I mean, I know what we found, but what does it all mean exactly?
Our colleagues think that we're crazy for believing that this is a significant event. They want proof, and I can't blame them. I mean, we're all scientists after all. But I'm afraid all I can offer is my experiences, what my own eyes saw and my own ears heard. But that's not necessarily going to convince anyone. And there are those now that the star has gone who deny that it was ever there in the first place.
Personally, I don't know what to make of the whole business. The whole story's a bit fanciful in this day and age.
What this story shows is that science can't answer every single question or explain absolutely everything in the universe. Science isn't the only way of looking at life or understanding it.
I believe this child will be special. Everything points to it being true. He's out there somewhere, growing up into his destiny.
It's opened my eyes, for sure. Whether it will be as life-changing as Abe or JM think, well, I've definitely learned to keep more of an open mind.
I think all three of us keep our ear to the ground for any news out of Judea. Not that there's a great deal. I've got a cousin who's moving there for work next year, and to a little town in the north called Cana. And he'll hear any news, I hope. You never know.
Long ago, astronomers from a far-off country saw a sign in the night sky that they believed heralded the birth of someone special. 2,000 years later, over 2 billion people believe that this child was God, born into the world to bring us life. In this rational age, that claim seems foolish, but the question remains, who was he? And were those who found and worshipped him actually the wise ones?